there are...
Would you tell them about if they decide to just go on the natural love path and let nature take its course, how long it might take compared to if they make a different choice?
Yeah. Myself and Peter this morning were talking about some things about the natural love path versus the divine love path.
And sorry, could you define natural love path?
The natural love path is the path where you develop the love within inside of yourself with others, and it's very much intellectual in nature, right? So, in other words, what you do is you work out how you want to be more loving, and then you go and act upon that, but it doesn't always feel good because then you've got to work through a bit of an emotion. You work through that, and then you do it a bit better, and then you do it a bit better, and it's like a slow progression towards what I call the sixth sphere of the spirit world, which you can be in the state of here on earth as well. And that is a slow progression towards being perfect in the way that you display love to others. That's your love within you. That's what I call the natural love path.
And that's kindness and all those other qualities.
Kindness, compassion, empathy, and all those qualities are all part of the natural love path. Right? And there's nothing wrong with the natural love path, because if you're on the divine love path, you've got to be the natural love path plus the divine love path. Right? If that's what the divine love path does. The divine love path is about receiving God's love into you. And that transforms you so much that you are automatically loving towards others. Do you see the difference? One is dependent upon God's love entering you. The other one is very self-dependent or self-reliant, where you develop stuff within yourself. So let's say we're on the natural love path and we're developing ourselves. So what I have to do is I need to do my meditation work every morning, and I do that, and I need to practice being loving during the day, and so I do that, and so forth and so forth. And I work on these things slowly, and whenever an emotion is triggered, I need to allow myself to feel that emotion and work out what that's all about, and then I try to use my mind to get away from that emotion a bit. And eventually, with enough time, I can actually work through a lot of things, and I can progress. There are spirits in the spirit world that have done that and taken 2,000 years to be perfected in love. Right? On the divine love path, what happens is three things, and I'll talk about them in a minute. And the divine love enters you and at the same time exposes every single emotion in you that's opposite to love. And you need to experience it and release it. Right? And when that happens, what happens is that you transform very rapidly. And there's spirits in the spirit world who have transformed in 1 year of our time using that path, but started out in the same condition as the one that took 2,000 years to do it on the other path. So what I'm presenting to you is going to be very intense emotionally. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be very intense emotionally for a period of time. It might be 3 years, 2 years, 5 years. It might be just a period of time. But it's going to change the rest of your existence permanently. Or you can choose to do it how you've been doing it now and take 100 years or 200 years to get to a state of the sixth sphere, which is not even a state of one with God yet. You can choose to do that.
Tell them about Ramtha. That's a good...
There was a spirit I was talking to, and some of you have heard of Ramtha? Have you? A spirit that I was talking about nearly 2 years ago. And he channeled information through a lady here on earth called JZ Knight. And
she was on the Secret DVD.
Yeah, she was on the Secret DVD. For those of you who've seen the Secret DVD, she was sort of like she had reddish hair, quite
round face,
roundish
big
face.
lips.
Yep. Anyway, I was talking to one of JZ Knight's, I suppose you could say followers. She was a person who was really into Ramtha herself. And all of a sudden I felt Ramtha there, so I decided to speak with him. In 5 minutes, he transformed from one state to another state of our time. In 5 minutes. The reason why was, for 35,000 years, he'd been on the natural love path. Now, if you can imagine living for 35,000 years, right, in a state where there still feels like something's missing within you, right? And then all of a sudden somebody telling you what that something was, what would you do? Wouldn't you want to transform as fast as you could? So there's other spirits that I've spoken to that are in the sixth sphere. He was in the sixth sphere and now he's in the celestial spheres. There are other spirits I've spoken to in the sixth sphere that have been there 2,000 years, and they don't want to know a single thing that I'm talking about, because they tell me they already know, and I can't tell them anything. So they're totally different. Why? Because they don't have a feeling of dissatisfaction within them. Now, what caused you to come to the Alpha Seminar? Wasn't it a feeling that my life's not going as good as it could, and I'd probably like to make it go a bit better?
Quicker.
Was it that? What was it that drove you?
The longing for more.
A longing for more? A longing for more truth?
Yes.
In your life? Curiosity? Yep. So those feelings that you have are little niggling feelings inside of you that cause you to grow in truth, right? And they're really great. You need to listen to those. When we don't listen to those and we suppress those, that's when we do everything our own way. When we do everything our own way, that's when we take long, long times to transform. When we're open to what's going on around us, that's when we take a lot shorter time to transform.